Yes. Yeah.
But like the comparison, like with me and some of the other guys.
So that'd be something neat to see, the Harris Centers
The Pirates playing in Williams.
Welcome back for a second period. This is something that we want to talk about, I don't know what, an episode or so ago.
We were throwing it out there for last episode, but other things happened.
Yeah. Minor league football in the NFL. So apparently at one point, the NFL had a minor league team.
They had minor league. They had minor leagues.
I'm sorry, team. Yeah, minor leagues. Sorry, not just team, but minor leagues. When I say teams, I'm just thinking of the Pottstown Firebirds, which is what you'd say an hour and a half from us.
Yeah. So,
Give or take.
I've known of the Pottstown Firebirds for a while. I never actually knew until recently, though, that they were the farm club of the Eagles. And that makes a lot of sense now based on everything I've seen with the Pottstown Firebirds, because they used old Eagles uniforms and helmets.
Yeah. And it's not like they're that far.
Right. So they played in what was called the Atlantic Coast Football League, and that league existed from 1962 until 1973. And up until 1970-ish, the teams had agreements with either an NFL team or an AFL team to serve as their farm club. So based on our location, the Harrisburg Capitals were the farm club of the Baltimore Colts. And now, to me, it makes sense why there's a lot of Colts fans in the central PA area.
Yeah, I didn't put two and two together until you start to put, hey, check this out. I was like, oh, okay. And then after doing some more research, like, okay, that makes sense now.
And I only found out because I saw a Harrisburg Capitals jersey on a website. Someone selling a replica of it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things to where once you put the research, once you start doing the research on looking up the topic, and then it's like, oh, right. It's, it just clicks. Like, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool to find this information out. And unfortunately there isn't, there's a listing of the teams, but it doesn't always have who they were affiliated with. Like, I can tell you that, based on research, the Bridgeport Jets were affiliated with the New York Jets. Go figure. The Hartford Knights were affiliated with the Bills.
Some just go hand in hand.
The Long Island Bulls are with the Giants. The New England Colonials were with the Patriots, and so on. But it's really cool that, and we always talk about, why doesn't the NFL have a minor league system? Well, now we know that they have a history beyond NFL Europe of having a minor league system.
Too bad it's not one anymore, but
right.
And
then there was also another one, was the Seaboard Football League. And that lasted from 71 to 74. Now, their most notable alumni was Vince Papale, who played for the Philadelphia Bell in the World Football League and then later with the Eagles, and had a Disney movie made about himself called Invincible, where Mark Wahlberg played Mark Wahlberg. Anyway. Sorry. That's a bad joke, but if you ever watch Mark Wahlberg play a real person, he's playing Mark Wahlberg.
I find it funny, though, in the Seaboard League, looking at the championship games, Hagerstown Bears, Schuylkill Coal Crackers, Chambersburg Cardinals.
The Chambersburg Cardinals still exist, and they play semi-pro leagues now.
Just seeing these names, and like you said, still around, kind of neat history to see.
So this is super localized, and you're going to be the only one who really understands, outside of maybe a few other listeners. I'm a firm believer that if there was ever a Schuylkill County independent baseball team, like in the Atlantic League or the Frontier League or what have you, they need to be called the Coal Crackers, because that is a terrific name for a baseball team from Schuylkill County.
Well, yeah, because it's all coal mining areas.
And their jerseys need to be powder blue with charcoal black, because that's the only way it would work.
Yeah, that would be the only way it would work.
and I'm a sick man, their mascot needs to be a canary.
Oh, jeez. Really? You're going to go that far?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Okay, so
now, for those of you who don't know, a canary was used in the coal mines as a way to know if they were running out of oxygen.
And every time a dinger's hit, the canary falls over. That's
just wrong. That's just wrong. Funny, but wrong.
And the reason I have this all thought out is because I designed uniforms for this team many, many years ago. And I wish I could find it.
The fact that you've actually thought this out is scary enough.
I love baseball, and I want more local baseball. I don't see how this is a bad thing.
It's not that the local baseball is the bad thing. It's the concept with the canary as the mascot.
The canary has to be the mascot. If there is a sports team, an independent baseball team or what have you, and they're called the Coal Crackers, and they're in Schuylkill County, the canary has to be the mascot. There's no way around it. You can't have Lumpy the Coal as a mascot. That's going to look like a turd. But a canary is hilarious. We've lost so many listeners through this.
Way to go, Jason. That's why we don't have nice things. Oh, that's just wrong. Funny, but wrong.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Lumpy the Coal has me. I'm trying so hard not to laugh because of Lumpy the Coal, but here we are.
Lumpy the Coal. Oh, that's...
That I just pulled out of nowhere. It just happened, but here we are.
Lumpy the Coal.
Yeah, I totally lost where I'm at now.
I can just picture this coal mascot with legs and arms, with googly eyes.
That would be perfect, but he can't be the mascot because the canary has so much value.
That's all I could see, though, in my head is that.
The canary would have a mining hat and a pickaxe, and...
It would fit. Yeah, I agree. It would work because of the history of coal mining.
He'd be in a cage in right field, and every time there's a home run, he dies.
The fact that you've gone that far.
It would be basically their version of the Liberty Bell. When the Liberty Bell rings when a home run is hit for the Phils, the canary dies when the Coal Crackers hit a home run.
Wow. We've gone morbid here.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's late. And I've had this thought out for years.
That's the sad part. That's the sad
I firmly believe in this concept, okay?
Oh, jeez. I'm crying. I am literally crying. Yeah, I lost concept too, where we were at.
Well, because you had to mention about the Schuylkill Coal Crackers in the Seaboard Football League, which, okay, so it was the Seaboard Football League, and a lot of these teams weren't really near sea.
Yeah, I don't know where they came up with that one.
Now, I don't know any information on the Hagerstown Bears, but I got to assume they played at the baseball stadium, unless they played at a high school field, which, I mean, a lot of these teams, based on research, a lot of these teams did play at high school fields.
Well, a lot of these teams played in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they did.
Because the Bucks County Steelers, you had the Austin Knights, or PA.
The Lackawanna County Eagles.
The Ripley Township Knights. Then we had, of course, we said the Chambersburg Cardinals. You had where's another one? I just saw it. Now, it was the Schuylkill County Coal Crackers from Pottsville. Then they ended up becoming the Reading Coal Crackers in 1972. Then you had Valley Forge, Washington Generals, Wilkes-Barre, the Wilkes-Barre Bullets. So a lot of these teams, Seaboard, were from Pennsylvania.
What I find really interesting in the research I found is that the Atlantic Coast League was considered on the high end of minor league ball in football. Like, they were considered the next step to the NFL.
Who knows? I mean, we've always talked about how the NFL should have its own minor league, how hockey and baseball have,
and the NBA. All three have their own development.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, and they have some. Now, don't get me wrong. We did talk about how the NFL is getting something along those lines between the USFL.
Do they have an agreement to do anything with the USFL, or is it just the XFL? Because I think it's just the XFL is going to be doing testing of new equipment and new rules and such.
Speaking of that, I just saw where they did new rules for the overtime for the NFL, where both teams get a shot.
Well, that just makes sense.
Well, I think that's because of what happened in the playoffs last year.
All those games were determined in overtime,
and only one team got the So then college football always done that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think because we are talking about developmental football leagues, we got to acknowledge the fact that the World League of American Football, and then later as it became known as NFL Europe, was probably the longest lasting developmental football league associated with the NFL.
Yeah.
Because that lasted from 91 to 2007. And really, I think to casual fans, NFL Europe's probably known more for the fact that they had really interesting looking jerseys than it was the quality of play. Let's be honest, NFL Europe existed because the NFL wanted to see how it would do in out of country. Having other guys go there to play and maybe play a couple NFL games was just icing on the cake for them. For them, it was about seeing how pro football would play in England and in Germany and so on.
Yeah, because I know they played a couple of games in Mexico, a couple of games, a lot of games overseas when it was around.
Now there's a yearly game in England.
Yeah. That's always fun to wake up to football.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because that can really make or break your fantasy day. But I mean, I still think the possibilities there if things go right with this XFL deal, where they're a partner league in the same way that the Atlantic League is a partner league of MLB, where they could eventually become a developmental league where, players start in the spring in the XFL and they get signed by, a team, or, maybe the Washington Commanders are the parent club for, I don't remember the name of the Washington XFL league from 2020, but you get what I'm saying. Like, okay, they're located in this city in the spring. They can be that's our feeder system. If we want guys who we sign in the late rounds to get some playtime, this is where we want them to go. And if we can use them in the fall, they have already on-field experience in a professional setting.
We can only hope. We can only hope that actually happens. Will it?
Who knows?
Doubtful. I say doubtful just because of...
I feel like it's common sense kind of stuff, but...
Common sense is not so common.
And I mean, looking at the 8 teams from the 2020 season for the XFL, you're the Dallas Renegades, who could then be the Cowboys farm system. The Houston Roughnecks could be the Texans farm system. The LA Wildcats could be either the Rams or the Chargers farm system. Seattle Dragons, Seahawks, and so on.
Yeah. Who knows?
I know.
I mean, Tampa Bay could go with Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Vipers.
Yeah. St. Louis don't even have a team, so the Battle Hawks could be up for grabs.
Yeah. New York Guardians could be either the Giants or the Jets, or
they
both.
Could split them, yeah. DC would be the Commanders.
I'm just curious on just looking at the list of, like you said, the 2020 teams, where at the bottom it has, okay, never mind, that just says practice squad. Yeah,
Team 9?
Don't mind me. Yeah.
Team 9.
Don't mind me. I just saw Arlington, Texas. Like, why are there two? Are they gonna have two teams playing in Arlington? But I was like, oh right, practice squad. But no, I mean, in theory, they could do, if done right, could have those types of systems where start low, go high.
And here's the thing, like, the DC Defenders played in a soccer stadium. The Wildcats played in a soccer stadium. The Renegades played in a soccer stadium. Like, they don't have to play in a 60 to 80,000 seat stadium for spring football. They can play in a soccer stadium that maybe holds 15 to 20,000. These players will still get the opportunity to play professionally with a good contract in front of crowds so that they're ready when they're called up to the big show in the NFL. Again, we make sense for no reason. So
the bubble.
Oh, the bubble. It works.
T-shirt.
Matt from the A Show is just rolling his eyes right now.
Probably.
Because I remember, I still have the message. Stop talking about the bubble. We get it.
No, we will not. We will not. We have to now.
We've committed this far.
Oh man, but yeah, no. I mean, who knows? They may get that opportunity to become an affiliate league at one point. Maybe both XFL, maybe XFL, USFL may get that down the line, depending on how since the USFL kicks off tomorrow night. So I should say Saturday night, the 16th, kicks off.
It would have kicked off by the time everyone that listens to this.
Yeah. But then when the XFL kicks off, who knows? They might do something well.
Yeah, just wait and see.
Yep. So on that note, that would be the end of the second period. We'll be right back.
For listeners of the Non Letter Sports Podcast, our friends at Baseball Together want you to check out their shop at 9plusus.com. That's NINEPLUSUS.com. And if you check out their shop, use the code NASPOD, NASPOD, for 15% off your first order. Check out the different designs on t-shirts, caps, hoodies, and so much more. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm rocking the classic logo 9plusus cap. David is rocking the very popular Pirate Baseball design on his cap. You can also check out their perfect design with a K backwards for pitching, if anyone gets it. I don't know. They have the City Series. They have the United We Fan Series and so much more. And the designs are really cool, and there's something for every kind of fan. They got stuff for every team color you can imagine. It's really cool. A big seller in 2020 was their KBO hats. They did hats for all the KBO teams because we didn't know if we'd have American baseball that year. But check them out at 9plusus.com. And again, use code NASPOD, NASPOD, at checkout for 15% off your order.